Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all for today's National Distance Learning Seminar Series. And today's topic is screening, referrals, and linkages to care for common non-communicable diseases in ART centers and link ART centers. And today's speaker is Dr. A.S. Vallan. He is currently working as Indian epidemic in India in Epidemic Intelligence Service Officer at National Center for Disease Control, New Delhi. He is posted with Non-Communicable Diseases Division, Director General of Health Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in Government of India. Earlier, he has worked as an EIS officer with National Institute of Research in Tuberculosis at Chennai, and also as a regional coordinator with CSD division at NACO, and as a clinical trainer and chief fellow with ITech India. He is expertise in program management, training, and HIV training for healthcare professionals. He served as State AIDS Control Expert Panel member for COE-GHTM Tambram and ART Place Centers in Salem, Tirunelveli, and Madurai Medical College Hospital. He has presented many papers and abstracts in national and international conferences and has been co-investigator and co-author of several publications. Thanks for accepting the invitation, sir. Now I am handing over the session to Dr. Vallan. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So today's session will be on screening, referral and linkages of common non-communicable diseases, which we call NCDs, from the ART center and link ART centers. So we all know that non-communicable diseases are the leading cause of deaths in India, and even in the globe, nearly 60% of the deaths, of the total deaths, are due to non-communicable diseases. So mainly cardiovascular disease. So in India, CVD accounts for 26% of all deaths, and the key risk factor for CVD is hypertension. The prevalence of hypertension among adults in India ranged from 22 to 31% across several Indian states. This was a study conducted by Indian Council for Medical Research and Integrated Disease Surveillance Project in 2007-8. And it has also found out that it was conducted in 7 states. And this study also highlighted that only 11 to 30% of those with hypertension, which varied from state to state, of 11 to 30% of with hypertension had their blood pressure controlled. So why this is important? Because the NCDs are important in HIV population, because people living with HIV are at increased risk of developing a range of non-communicable diseases, including CVDs, diabetes, chronic lung disease, and some type of cancer. So here is the slide which is depicting the evolution of CVDs with the aging and HIV in the HIV infected population. As the HIV infected population continues to age, new cardiovascular diseases are emerging. So if you see in 1980s when HIV, the AIDS was discovered, and in 83 HIV virus was discovered. During the initial period, we never had, like till 86, there were no drugs. So only patients were treated symptomatically and OIs were treated. So during this period, the major complications encountered were as far as NCDs are concerned, we had pericardial effusion and dilated cardiomyopathy. And when ART was introduced in 86, and as regimens, it was started after 90. So from 90 to 2000, if you see, the CADs, peripheral vascular disease, and pulmonary hypertension emerged. So after initiation and continuation of ART, and as per the new guidelines, you are starting ART early. Like now, as per the NACO guidelines, you are starting ART at the CD4 count of 350 cells, and which will be raised to a higher level very soon. So during this continuation ART and early initiation of ART, you have more cases of diastolic dysfunction, sudden cardiac death, and atrial fibrillation. So if you see the comorbidity distribution, this is a World AIDS Conference presentation by Schouten et al. In 2012. So they did a analysis. This is from Amsterdam. So they have found out that the hypertension, angina, myocardial infarction, peripheral artery insufficiency, and cerebrovascular disease, that is stroke and all, and cardio, and also diabetes mellitus, it is around more than 50% higher than in HIV negative population. That HIV positive people had 50% more chances of having all these diseases. and it was also very statistically significant in all these groups. So the person having HIV had more chances of having all this cardiovascular diseases and non-communicable diseases than the patient who was not infected with HIV infection. So if you see the risk factor for comorbidity in the same study, they have found out that the male, the gender and other things, the common socio-demographic profile didn't had much influence on the like comorbidity of NCDs. But if you see HIV infection, if you see like if a person having HIV infection has 2.5 times more chances of developing cardiovascular disease. And also like if you see this was a case control study. So if the HIV infection alone accounts for 2.5 times more chances for having this CVDs. So HIV associated with 50% increase in acute MI risk after adjustment for major traditional risk factors, and increased risk remain among those with well treated with HIV. That even with you are putting the patient on ART, there is an increased risk of these patients having myocardial infarction. And the impact of HIV on risk comparable to traditional risk factors, including hypertension, diabetes mellitus, and hyperlipidemia. The drivers of CVD in HIV may include combination of factors, including higher prevalence of traditional factors like smoking, not only smoking but also consumption of smokeless tobacco, that is gutka, pan and all, non-traditional factors like stress, and the effects of ART and the effects of HIV itself. If you see the myocardial infarction rate in HIV infected versus uninfected population, so in the younger age group, so from 18 to 34 years, very young age group, it was in the HIV infected population, the rates per 1,000 person years was 4.65, and it increased over aging, right? If you have the older population, more, if you are HIV infected and you are older age, more than 65 years of age, you have more chances of getting myocardial infarction. Rather than having HIV negativity. So even though NCDs are common in the general population, HIV adds on to the risk, and it is very, very important for us to concentrate on these all risk factors which will lead on to myocardial infarction and ultimately death if not intervened at the proper stage. So this is a proposed model of untreated HIV infection and CVD pathogenesis. So here is the HIV replication, then due to the lymphatic tissue injury and microbial translocation, the immune activation and inflammation happens, and after this there may be liposomal changes, there may be release of the cytokines like interleukin, there may be other tissue factors and thrombogenesis, that is thrombocyte formation, throm formation may be there. This all will lead on to the vascular injury, and ultimately that will result in cardiovascular diseases. So even with the treated HIV infection, your ART, the same process may continue, and even ART can act at each stage of this. This also due to some drug toxicities, cardiotoxic drugs, and the virus itself can also injure the endothelium of the blood vessels, and it can cause lipoprotein changes due to some drugs. The lipoprotein changes may come, the VLDL may increase, some drugs like protease inhibitors and all, like it can act on the insulin levels, and insulin resistance may develop, and this will lead on to cardiovascular disease and other non-communicable disease like diabetes. So if you see the risk factor of smoking, and this is a study done in 2011, it showed that if a person HIV positive person who had never smoked, he had less risk compared to a person who had the baseline status smoking, and if he stopped smoking, the risk factor of developing myocardial infarction reduces. See, if you see here, never smoked is here, it's around -1. Then baseline status 1.73, and if he is currently smoking, it is 3.40. And if he like stopped smoking during the follow-up less than 1 year, it is 3.73 still. And if he smokes stops smoking for more than 3 years, then the risk is relative risk is coming down to 2.07%. So, and if he stops smokes for more than many years, like 5 years and all, this ultimately falls. And if you modify the risk factor, you can readily influence this, and the effect of this risk factor comes down. Like if you, in this picture, you can see the hazards ratio. The first is the CVD hazard ratio. If you reduce the systolic BP by 10 millimeter mercury, again the hazard ratio falls. If you reduce the total cholesterol, again you can reduce the the hazard ratio falls. And if you stop smoking, it significantly fall in this picture. So why this is important? Because see, our patients, those who are attending ART center and other HIV infected patients in the community, they are at higher risk compared with the normal population. So it is very, very important that you identify these patients at early stage, and you have to link them up to the treatment services provided in the government setup. So by identifying them early, because these patients are coming to you every month once they are registered in pre-ART care. So by linking them timely to proper services with the government, so definitely you can make a very big impact on this clients, and you can improve their quality of life. So otherwise they will end, like if you are managing only the ART part of your patients, those who are attending your ART center, then if you are not addressing the risk factors they have regarding the cardiovascular diseases and other non-communicable diseases, then like totally like your goal of ART is like you won't be able to achieve the desirable result of keeping this patient alive for long years. So you have to intervene early. So for that you should know like what is available in the government program, and how can you link them up to the system so that they can be followed up. Because like you have ART drugs with you, you have OI drugs, and you have not all the diagnostic facilities. CD4 facilities are available with you. For all the facilities, you will be linking them up with the institution where ART center is situated. So how can you actually how can you actively participate in early identification of non-communicable diseases and link these clients to the better care support services? So you should know what is available in the system. So I had shown you about in the first slide I was showing you about the prevalence of non-communicable diseases in our country. So responding to this prevalence, after the government of India has launched a program called NPCDCS program for major non-communicable common non-communicable diseases like cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease and stroke. It is called NPCDCS program. NPCDCS is nothing but National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Disease and Stroke. This program was started in 2010. So this program started initially in 100 districts. It was planned to be implemented. So mainly it focused on screening at the field level of general populations. In the ANMs will be screening the people in their sub-center, and they will be referring them to the nearby CHC and district hospitals. They have the NCD clinics. They provided the treatment and diagnostic services for these people. So the key objectives of this program was to prevent and control chronic non-communicable diseases, especially cancer, diabetes, CVDs and stroke, and opportunistic screening at all levels in healthcare delivery system from sub-center and above for early detection of diabetes, hypertension and common cancers, and to build capacity at various levels of healthcare for health promotion, prevention, early diagnosis, treatment, rehabilitation and operational research, and to support the development of NCD database through surveillance and monitoring of risk factors, morbidity and mortality. So all these units, reporting units, they report to their higher level, and as we have in ART, they report to the state, district will report to the state, and state will be reporting to the center, and the regular surveillance mechanism and monitoring is happening for this program. So this program evolution, the baseline things started in 2007 by a risk factor survey conducted in 7 states by ICMR and IDSP. In 2009, there was a manual for medical officers developed. This can be downloaded from MOHFW website, that is Ministry of Health and Family website, from the NCD tab. And in 2010-11, there was an operational manual developed, and the program was launched in 100 districts. In 2012, the program was scaled up to 364 districts. And in 2015-16, treatment guidelines and national risk factor survey. This is treatment guidelines are being revised, and national risk factor survey is going to be conducted by ICMR again. The second wave will be conducted. And by 2017, this program will be scaled up to all the districts. So you had heard about opportunistic screening. You may be knowing about opportunistic infections. So let me tell you what is opportunistic screening is. So opportunistic screening is nothing but all the district health facilities screen persons above 30 years of age for diabetes, hypertension, and common cancers. So common cancers, what all are the common cancers encountered? You all know. This is oral cancer in male, breast and cervical cancer in female. So, and there may be other cancers also. So apart from other cancers, we mainly focus on these 3 types of cancers which are encountered frequently in our Indian population. And also this screening includes proper history taking, the family history of NCDs, that is non-communicable diseases, history of the family, father, mother, siblings will be taken. History of alcohol consumption, because alcohol lead on to development of NCDs. Tobacco usage, both smoking and non-smoking, that is chewing tobacco, that history will be taken into consideration. And what all are the dietary habits, like whether they are taking high fat meals, high salt diet, high sugar diet. So all this history will be taken. And after that, in the district level, general physical examination will be done, BMI will be calculated, blood pressure measurement will be done, and blood sugar examination. So in the sub-center level, the ANMs are provided with glucometer, and these ANMs will be checking the blood sugar RBS levels of the patient. If they are beyond a certain level, they will be referred, like we'll be seeing what they are doing in the sub-center level later. And the high risk individuals warranting additional investigations, they are referred to the nearby NCD clinic at the community health center or a district hospital level, and they will be investigated with further investigations. And if they are diagnosed, then they will be put on treatment at the CHC and the district hospital level institutions. So if you see the service delivery in PHC and sub-center, they do screening camps and they screen the patients. They also, some places they do house-to-house screening also. Then if they are suspected with hypertension or diabetes or any types of cancers, they will be referred to the community health center, or if district hospital is near, they may be directly referred to the district NCD clinic at the district hospital also. So then this community health center, they will diagnose these patients whether they really have hypertension, whether they really have diabetes, or whether they really have other CVDs or other common cancers which are encountered in our community. And if they diagnose, if they have the facility, they will be treated there. If they don't have the facility, then they will be referred to the district NCD cell, which will be situated district NCD clinic, which will be situated in a district hospital usually, or in a medical college in some places. So there they will be done additional investigation for confirmatory diagnosis, and then these patients will be treated at the district NCD clinic, at the district hospital or a medical college hospital in that particular district. So then as we have DAPQs, this program also has district NCD cell. So this will collate all the information available in the district regarding common NCDs. So this information will be collected every month, and they have separate formats also for that. So this information will be disseminated to the state NCD cell, and from state NCD cell the information is disseminated to the national NCD cell. So this is the hierarchical system what we have for the screening and treatment of common non-communicable diseases in the national program for cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease and stroke, which is NPCDCS program. So what we have in ART center, you all know, we in the sub-center and Anganwadi centers, there are some community-based interventions, and some NGOs will be working regarding mobilization of clients. So in primary health centers, in CHCs, you may have LACs, you have ICTCs, designated microscopy center. And in Link ART center, like in all CHCs, you may have, like in most of the CHCs, you have now in some of the states, high prevalent states, you have Link ART centers or Link ART plus centers. And in district hospitals, most of the district hospitals now like you have the facility either Link ART plus or a ART center which provides treatment services for the HIV infected client. So ICTC is available in all the levels from medical college till the primary health center through FICTCs. Like instead of ICTCs, you may have FICTCs in your PHCs. So HIV testing and treatment services are provided like as per the depicted slide. And like in medical colleges, some of the medical colleges you have SASAPs which provide the higher facilities like expert advice regarding second line initiation and all. So if you see the hierarchical system, it is one and the same. So mainly the screening activities will be done at the lower level. Then from the community health level, you start giving treatment. Like in ART services, you treat them at the ART center. Then for follow up, you will be referring to a community health center if it is an Link ART or Link ART plus center. So the hierarchy is the same, and like there is a lot of scope. The NCD activities may be integrated, and the services may be delivered to our people, because now by 17 all the CHCs and all the district hospitals will be having NCD clinic. So I think this is the right time. In 2016, if we start this process in places where it is available, then it will be we will be giving benefit to most of the patients, and we can improve the quality of health of many of our clients, those who are attending our ART centers. So why NCD is important for ART? We had seen some literature search data earlier. So with effective ART, people living with HIV are also living longer and experiencing NCDs associated with aging. This is very, very important. So because you are providing ART and you are initiating ART at an early stage, the longevity has increased. So when longevity increases, when there is when the person lives for more age, there are more chances of getting NCD. And this HIV, as we had seen earlier, it can affect like it can augment the process of having myocardial infarction and endothelial injury of blood vessels. So both HIV and NCD require health systems that can deliver effective acute and chronic care, because once you are HIV positive, you have to be put on treatment. It is a chronic manageable disease now, and NCD is also a chronic manageable disease. You need long-term treatment. Lifelong treatment has to be given for most of the NCDs. And one more important thing is support adherence to treatment. Like adherence is very, very important in HIV, and also it is very important in NCDs. If you have NCDs, you are taking drugs irregularly, if your BP is not controlled or your blood sugar levels are not controlled, you are more prone for developing more fatal complications. So this both require a health system that can deliver acute and chronic care and support and adherence to treatment. And chronic HIV care provides opportunity for screening, monitoring and managing NCDs. Like these patients are coming to you regularly. They are registered with you. After testing, all the patients will be registered with HIV care. They are coming regularly. So you can repeatedly screen and support them, and you can monitor them whether their BP is controlled or not. And you can you can support the NCD clinic which is available to next door with your ART center or Link ART center. You can refer these patients at early stage and initiate them on treatment. You can monitor their treatment, and you can support them to have a better quality of life. So, what all are the opportunities you have in ART center for reducing the risk factors? So, you are doing all these things, like this is nothing new, but this has to be done in a better way, also focusing on non-communicable disease. So, you can do nutritional assessment. Every ART center can do a nutritional assessment. You have a counselor. At least for patients, those who are more than 30 years, nutritional assessment can be done. Family history may be taken. So you are taking HIV history, so you can take NCD history also. You can do dietary counseling and support in your center. So you are already doing that. What diet has to be taken for the HIV patient. So more effectively, this has to be implemented in your center. You have you have to do the tobacco cessation counseling. This is very, very important. This includes, like, mostly I have seen many of our counselors, they ask about smoking tobacco products, but they ignore about smokeless tobacco. The smokeless tobacco, like kaini, gutka and all, this is as much dangerous as tobacco smoking. So you have to ask about this history, and you can intervene regarding tobacco cessation. Alcohol cessation, again, alcohol itself can augment the HIV viral replication, one thing, because it can increase the liver damage. Second thing, if they are continuously taking alcohol, there are more chances that they may be less adherent to ART medication. Drug interactions are like drug and alcohol interactions are possible, and also they will be more prone for developing non-communicable diseases. So you can intervene in this stage. You can promote exercise in your ART center, like promote, like you can guide them to have a more active life and do exercises. Your counselor can do that. You can monitor the blood pressure. So in some of the ART centers, even the blood pressure machine, like the apparatus is there, but it is not functional and it is not routinely monitored. So if you want to give better service, you can monitor the blood pressure in your ART center. And if you are measuring the blood pressure, you will come to know whether, if they are not diagnosed yet, you will come to know whether they have to be referred to a NCD clinic for confirmatory diagnosis and further tests. And also you can also monitor them if they are already on drug, right? So if they are already taking any antihypertensive medication or drugs for the heart, like antiplatelets, clopidogrel and all, so you can monitor them whether they are taking regularly. So you know, like they are at high risk of developing cardiac complications, so you can monitor them. And you can like you are already monitoring, like blood sugar levels are done at baseline for all the patients, right? So you know at the baseline whether they are diabetic or not. So if they are diabetic, you have to not only to write in your white card that their blood sugar levels are RBS level is more than 200 or more than 180. So instead of only writing, you have to link them properly. So that is the aim of this session. So you know everything, you document it in your white cards, but most of the places the linkages and referrals are not happening. And where available, the lipid profile and serum cholesterol, this is mandatory in HIV care. But some places they have other linkages with the system. This is a mandate of the program to have lipid profile and serum cholesterol. So you can monitor them regularly. So if their lipid profile is altered or serum cholesterol is elevated, then you can link them up to your NCD clinic, and you can ask the medical officer to prescribe statins for them. And when you are prescribing statins, you have to be careful with drug interactions. The medical officers may be well aware of the drug interactions of some of the PAs and statins. Like you can support screening and monitoring of your patients for non-communicable disease in all these aspects. So if you see like operationally how you can contribute for screening and linkages. So in pre-ART, every patient visits ART center, he comes and sees the care coordinator. So care coordinator, he does the peer education. So while doing peer education only, the care coordinator can talk about common NCDs, but he will be mainly talking about the other things about psychological support, registering, and he will be screening them for TB. So if he is very busy, okay, we can leave this step. But your counselors, they can contribute for screening these patients for NCD, because next after getting the white card, the patient will be going to the counselor. So he will be telling about regular follow-up and adherence to preparedness. So during this stage, while counseling, he can ask like whether you had any family history of hypertension or something. So if it is if he is hypertensive, you can write in the green book, you can refer to the ART medical officer, and ART medical officer can subsequently refer this patient to the NCD clinic for further this confirmatory diagnosis and initiation of treatment if he is found to be having some of the NCDs. So what the counselor can do is, while counseling, he can mention it in the green book. So what is BP is. So then he can be referred. So after this, the patient goes to the staff nurse. So the staff nurse, definitely, if the counselor cannot take a BP, if there is a staff nurse is not available, the counselor can do the BP reading if properly trained. But the staff nurse definitely can check the BP and weight. Anyway, she is checking the weight, and she will be guiding for further investigation. And she usually what happens is they insist only on the CD4 test, and they don't insist on other tests. Like they have to explain about like what is the need of doing other tests also if they are like if some person coming to your ART center is above 30 years, and you have to screen them for the common NCDs like hypertension and diabetes. So your nurse can do a BP right in the green card, and then he may be referred to the SMO. So if the SMO is examining the patient, thorough examination has to be taken based on the history provided by the counselor. The medical officer can also ask like whether he has any family history, or already the alcohol and smoking history would have been already mentioned in the white card. So a medical officer can know this information and he can confirm it with patient, and proper workup, lab workup, or other referral mechanism has to be done to this patient. And not only for HIV follow-up, they should also give proper education on why NCDs are very important, and what is the risks associated with the NCDs, like why they have to take those follow-ups medications also properly if they are already on drugs. So that has to be insisted. So sometimes you may get a patient of 60 years of age, already he might have been diagnosed with some of the NCDs, and then he may come to you. So during that time, what you can tell is like if he is already on drug, it will be very difficult. He may be consuming already 4 or 5 drugs. So again, you will be prescribing ART medication. But thanks to NACO, now we have single dose regimen tenofovir given to most of our patients. So what you can now it is very much easier than before. Earlier you will be prescribing 2 to 3 drugs morning and night. Now single dose pill is available for most of our patients. So when you are telling regarding adherence of HIV medication for pre-ART patient before initiation, if they are already on antihypertensives or anti-diabetic drugs, so you have to reinstate that they have to consume that drug. They should not miss. So we all might have seen in our experience that when HIV and TB drugs both are prescribed, many of the patients either take TB drug or HIV like ART drug only, and they will skip some of the drugs. So this is our experience, but by regular counseling and reinstating them on every visit, this has improved over the years, right? So the same thing, if they are already on antihypertensive or diabetic medication, if you are pre-ART patient, you have to insist them. If you find any complication, you can you have to admit them, not only for the OI, but you have to screen for the NCDs, and you can admit them, and you can link them up with your medicine department. So your nodal officer is always there for you. You can link them up with the medicine department, and you can have a proper workout of these patients. And like these all are the areas. The lab technician, again, like while pricking, like most of the things we recommend by doing a single prick. When you take for CD4, you have to take for other investigations also. So your lab technician can also contribute in the sense, like while taking blood, he can tell like I'm doing for the RBS. This is routinely done. I think this is not much to do in this regarding NCD. This RBS is collected regularly in all the ART centers as a baseline workup. So these all are the places where the ART center can support in screening and referral. So first thing, when a patient comes to the counselor, he can ask some details about his family history, and also he can give some details about nutritional things, and his like modification of his dietary pattern to have an active life. That is like if he is ambulatory, and he is working, and like he can do some minor physical exercises and all. So all these things can be done by the counselor. The staff nurse can do the weight check, like she does the weight check. And one more thing we have seen in most of the ART center is weight is measured, but the height is not at all measured. Like at least one time you should try to measure height of all the patients. Like most of the white cards, what we see, the height column is not filled in most of the centers we visit. So at least one time the height should be taken for all the patients when you enroll them in pre-ART care. So otherwise, for adults above 30 years, height usually doesn't change unless they have some scoliosis, or they have some pot spine or some other abnormalities, bony abnormalities. Usually height doesn't change. So those at least single time height, like first time height, should be mentioned, and weight should be taken on every visit. And based on that, the BMI may be calculated, like if you need later. That is not a routine followed in ART center, but if you are doing it, that is very good. Like if BMI is calculated for your patients, it's very good. But as a routine, weight should be monitored, and you will be anyway taking weight whether to check whether the patient is gaining weight or losing weight. So only thing is, if you can, your nurse can contribute for checking the BP. So that would be very nice for screening this patient at the ART center level and referring them to the nearby NCD clinic wherever available. So as far as this on ART patients are concerned, the counselor on every visit, he may check whether he is taking drugs for ARV. He will be checking for ARV drugs. He may ask the patient whether are you taking any other drugs for any other disease, and you can ask them like whether they are taking those drugs regularly. So on every visit, your nurse will be doing the weight check here. So again, the nurse, if he is an NCD patient, or he has not at screen at all, not even once for your blood pressure, then she can check a BP, and if it is high, more than 140/90, she can refer this patient to the medical officer, and the medical officer can refer to the nearby NCD clinic for linkage for further follow-up. And same thing, like you can do the counseling, you will be doing counseling regarding alcohol cessation, you will be doing counseling regarding tobacco consumption and all. So you can continue that, and you can explain them what is the added risk if they have all this risk like behavioral risk and all. So all these things, how it will contribute in their for their bad health and fatal outcome. So all these things has to be told to the patient by the counselor. So medical officer again on every visit he will be doing the medical examination. So if he is not earlier checked for blood pressure or not checked for RBS, the medical officer can do it while he is coming on follow up in any of the visit, and he has to document it. And if he is found to be, if his random blood sugar, he comes next month after baseline workup, he comes with you with a random blood sugar of more than 200 milligram per deciliter, then definitely you will be referring this patient. So we are not telling that you should prescribe medicine, like we don't have drugs also in ERT center to prescribe. So there is a NCD clinic available. You should be aware of this NCD clinic available in 354 hospitals around districts around the country, and it will be scaled up to all the districts by 2017. That is the plan of NPCDCS program. So you will be having NCD clinics in all your districts at CHCs and in the district hospitals. So you can most of the ART centers are situated in the district hospital or in the medical college hospital, right? So it won't be easy. It will be situated in the same campus. You can refer them, and you can see for like whether they are properly getting linked to this NCD clinics and getting screened for the non-communicable disease. And if they are sorry, not only screened, but they are getting diagnosed, or they are getting treatment if they are already diagnosed of for the NCDs. So this can be done by the medical officer. So you should dedicate some more time with all your clients regarding screening of NCDs. So nowadays now you are initiating much earlier, and it will be like soon it will be you will be initiating much more earlier for all your clients with ART. So the complications regarding HIV infection per se without drugs and opportunistic infections will be coming down, and in the coming years you will be having more clients coming up with non-communicable diseases. And you have, if you are screening them at the early stage and you are linking them up, and you will be having less complications in your ERT center. This also helps you a lot. Okay, Viluppuram ART is telling, Viluppuram ART, I know you are not in the same campus, you are situated some 8 to 10 kilometers away from your medical college. So I know all these things, but wherever it is available, definitely you can link it up. You will be having a medicine OPD in your GH. Do you have a medicine OPD in your GH, Viluppuram ART? If you are having medicine OPD, you can refer to them. If you don't have a NCD clinic, and you have a medicine OPD, you can refer to them. Drugs are freely available. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, we have visited recently. You have all the drugs available in all the hospitals, even in the additional PHCs it is available. Please refer to them to the medicine OPD, and from there they can get the drugs. The only thing is, like, they will be doing the follow-up and everything, because these are your patients. They are coming regularly for your follow-up. Just we need that integratory support. That's all. We need integratory support so that, like, you will also have less complicated patients. Otherwise, these patients, they will, due to some complications, like if they develop stroke, then they cannot come to your ART center. If they develop cardiac complications, they cannot take your ART medications regularly. So if you are identifying the early risk factors for CVDs, that is hypertension and diabetes, early, so you can refer them to the appropriate clinical establishment like NCD clinics or medicine OPD, and you can link them up. Some of the states, they run specific OPDs for diabetes twice a week or thrice a week, or sometimes once a week. Some places it is being run. Some they do cardiac clinics in some of the places. So you should know, and you should educate your patients, those who are coming. So for that, you should know what is available in your institution. This is just a beginning of integratory services. Just I would like to highlight. I am not telling much. Just we are starting this process, because this, you should be aware that what all are the services are available in the system, so that in the future, when the services, those services are improved, you can link them up properly, and you can do good for your patients, right? And the SMO will be assessing the clinical status at every visit. That's what I was mentioning. So some of your patients, like they come, like they may not even if they are not on drugs, they don't go to NCD clinic regularly, but they will be coming to you regularly. If you ask them like, do you have any chest pain or something like, and if, maybe they may come and tell you directly, sir, for the last 5 days I am feeling some discomfort in my chest. So it may be due to other causes like GI causes, maybe a muscular pain also, but please evaluate them. So medical officers, they are qualified medical professionals, and many places we have SMOs also. So you people can give a thorough examination of these patients and link them up properly early to the NCD clinic, so that they can be put on treatment as early as possible, and cardiac complications may be averted in these patients. Like not only averted, it may be delayed. Like anyway, aging is a process, and we are mainly concerned with patients who are above 30 to 60 years in the NPCDCS program, but that doesn't mean that younger people and older people are not important. We have a NPHCE program, that is National Program for Healthcare for Elderly for the above 60 years. So there many places they have geriatric OPD also, so you can link them up. So you should be aware what is available in the system for screening, diagnosis and treatment of NCDs. So that is what I want to highlight using today's NDLS session. So your pharmacist again, so he is a qualified person, he knows about all the drugs, so he can also if some patients ask some doubt about like, I am also consuming this drug, can I consume this, so you can tell like you can give proper advice to them. Yes, they have to consume this, about the drugs, why this is important, how to consume. If they have any drugs doubts regarding taking the antihypertensive medication also, if you are aware, or you can discuss with your medical officer, and you can help these patients to take these drugs, because some places like in the general side they may miss telling to the patients like taking this drug properly. Sometimes, like it's not all the time, but if they miss, then you can contribute educating these patients in doing proper drug adherence counseling by the counselor and also by the pharmacist. And lab technician, as we had already told, like as a routine, you will be monitoring urea creatinine also. So please like correlate the values, like you should be aware, like there is an operational guideline and a medical manual I was showing. These all things during in the evolution slide. So these all things are downloadable from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare website. So you can download it and you can see like what all are the values, then when should you refer these patients. So please you are routinely doing, and if you find some abnormal values, you should not limit yourself just to substitute the drug of ART only, but you should also consider, like he may be a diabetic patient, he might have developed a diabetic nephropathy, so you should be linked to, you will be linking, definitely you will be getting a consultation of the nephrologist in your institution. So everything you are already doing, but only thing is you also have to keep in mind regarding NCDs. So you are doing, just I am reinstating that, continue to do what you are doing, and also keep in mind NCDs can also cause all these complications, and they have to be put on appropriate medication if they are found to have any complication. And let's move on to the next slide. The role of medical officer we had already seen. He can conduct a comprehensive clinical examination of NCD screening. He can refer and link the patient to the NCD clinic at the CSC and district hospital, and he can rule out complications or advanced stage of disease. So like some person is having a diabetic foot or something, or a peripheral neuropathy. So no, you should not limit, that is our point, you should not limit not only because you have a very good chance to see the patient, and you have a very good chance to examine the patient. So if he is having some complication, you can link these patients. It is not that you are not doing this currently, you are already doing all, you are working excellent, but still there are some gaps in some of the ART centers. That's why as a comprehensive package in ART center, you should also do the proper linkage of these patients to appropriate specialist and get them treated. And like you will be referring the complicated cases to higher care facility. That will be happening through your nodal officer. So usually nodal officer will be a, person from internal medicine department, so it won't be an issue. So nodal officer refers the patients to the higher facility, but the medical officer first should screen for these cases, and then only this can happen. Then medical officer can provide follow-up care to the ART patient, and he can assist in training and guiding healthcare personnel in the LAC and ART center. So the same thing, what information you are receiving today, like some of you people may not be attending this NDLS. Not only that, not only this NDLS cannot, I cannot give all the information in this 1 hour session, but definitely you can go through the guidelines which are available in the website, and you can download it. I will tell Sudarshan also to mail you the latest guideline of NPCDCS, so you can go through the guidelines. Some states have specific guidelines, like Tamil Nadu, through Tamil Nadu Health System Project, they have a slightly modified version of the guideline. So all the other states follow the national guideline. So through this, like how you can tell your people like how properly screen a patient and refer them. You can teach your staff as a medical officer of in charge of your ART center, or a link ART in charge person can also do this, and they can refer them on time, and they can link them to other services. So how a staff nurse can help? She can support screening for diabetes, hypertension, and common cancers. So here most of the places staff nurses are female. So common cancers, I was mentioning that you like breast, oral, and cervical cancer. So cervical cancer pap smear is being done in some of the places, as even it has to be done as a screening measure in all the HIV positive female patients, the high risk female patients. It has to be they have to be screened for this cervical cancers through pap smear test. Some places they follow via test, that is visual inspection with acetic acid. That is in some of the states they follow via which is a cost effective, which is done by the staff nurse itself of the NCD clinic. So if wherever it is possible you can do, but we at least the staff nurse in the ART center, she can support in helping the clients in breast examination if there are any breast lump coming, like any patients complaining of breast lump, or educate your patients regarding self examination of breast. So this can, and if it is not possible, there is no privacy in your ART center. Usually the staff nurse post it should be a separate room, but it is not available, then at least you can ask the patient, and you can refer them to the nearby NCD clinic. In the NCD clinic there will be a staff nurse, two staff nurses there in the district hospitals, and staff nurse will be also there in a CHC NCD clinic. So they will be helping them to do the visual breast examination and all. So we can screen cancers earlier, and we can link them to care early. And Ganganagar is asking NCD guideline. Okay, that will be sent by today, positively. And you can assist the physician during the examination of patients. So if some of the doctors in ART center I had seen, they do pap smear, they screen for all their female patients, those who have those who are at high risk for pap smear, and your staff nurse can support them during the examination of pap smear. They can monitor the blood pressure. So I think this is possible. I don't know how many staff nurses are attending this NDLS session. So is it possible at least one time value every 6 months has to be, like you can measure on every visit? Are there any difficulties in measuring blood pressure in ART center? So many places I have seen there are no functional BP apparatus. They have a BP apparatus. When you go for the visit, they have a BP apparatus. It is not functional, and there are no it's not the right way. Like During your training itself, ART MO training itself, we have not only MO training, also in the nurses training, you have been insisted no BP apparatus. I don't know who is that medical officer one. So what is the problem in getting a BP apparatus for an ART center? I don't find any issues because you have 1,50,000 rupees as a contingency fund. So Vijaypur is regularly doing very good. So there shouldn't be any issues in measuring the BP because see, this is in the upcoming years, this is going to be, NCDs are going to be a very big issue in your HIV, not only in HIV, in all the general population, but in HIV you are going to face more issues because we had seen in the initial slides, the risk is much more. It is double, they have double the risk of developing non-communicable diseases, HIV positive individuals. And so you are going to encounter more problems, more complications are envisaged, it may be expected. So you have to screen them and put them on appropriately. You have to think about how to link them and how to make them adherent to not only HIV medication that is already being done by you, and how you can contribute for their well-being by taking proper medication for the other CVDs also. And the nurse can assist in follow-up and care of the referrals. The role of a counselor in ART center, as we had seen, they can provide counseling regarding diet and lifestyle management. They can assist in follow-up care and referral. They can convey key messages what we had seen earlier, like intake of healthy food, not to take junk foods, fast foods and all to be avoided. You are already doing this, but just we are reinstating this also. What you have been already doing, which also will contribute for reducing the NCDs in your patients, those who are attending your ART center. And you can tell about increased physical activities through sports and exercise. Tell about avoidance of tobacco and alcohol. Stress management, warning signs of cancer. So if they have any lump or any new lump arising somewhere, or they are having persistent fever, they are having that weight loss, it can be other things also like tuberculosis, other cancers related to HIV and all. But still you have to think of common cancers, oral cancers, and the breast cancer and cervical cancer. So your counselor has to tell about this. So if you have any warning signs, you have to immediately tell us, so that we will be referring you to proper department for further screening. So all these things has to be told. And you have to tell about the warning signs of cardiac complications like myocardial infarction and stroke. So how they will be feeling. So you can learn from your medical officer, like what all are the symptoms of when you develop myocardial infarction. There may be a thrusting pain. The pain may be radiating to your neck, jaw, or your left arm. So sometimes if you are a diabetic patient, the pain, there won't be much pain. So immediately, if they are more than 45 years, immediately they have to go for examination by a physician, and also ECG is mandatory. So all these things you can educate your patients when they are when you are talking to your clients. So counselors can contribute in educating the clients regarding warning signs. So this is mainly for the patients, those who have already been diagnosed with hypertension and diabetes. So they are at more risk of developing myocardial infarction and stroke. Compared with, it's not that other people will not develop. Compared with the other people, people those who are not hypertensive and non-diabetic, the myocardial infarction is more common in this hypertensives and diabetics. So you have to educate them regarding the warning signs, and immediately they have to approach the nearby facility for further confirmatory diagnosis and treatment. So again, one important place, role of care support centers. They can also do the health promotion and behavior change counseling regarding dietary counseling support. They can tell about the tobacco cessation. They have to tell about the smokeless tobacco regarding gutka, kaini and pan masala. So this is very rampant the HIV patients, those who are attending. Sir, what kind of food is recommended for HIV patient for TB and diabetes? Okay. So alcohol cessation, promotion of exercise. So all has to be told in the CSC itself. So when you have monthly meeting, CSC monthly meeting, tracking meeting and all, you can tell them to give education regarding this, because when they register these patients, they can give this information, and it is being provided, but not being provided in the point of view of NCDs. But as now you are aware that the NCDs are also a very important component in longevity of our HIV infected population managed in the ART centers. So you can increase their lifespan by linking them timely and putting them on drugs. So and they can refer suspected cases to a nearby NCD facility, but it should happen through a link ART center or an ART center. So like they can take them to a nearby link ART center. So it will be further, they will be screened properly, and they will be referring through proper referral formats. So Paraman is asking what kind of food is recommended for HIV patients with TB and diabetes. I would like to leave this to our people. Please answer. What kind of food is recommended for HIV patients with TB and diabetes? So can anyone answer this question to Paraman by typing the message? So you all know, like high protein diet. It depends upon what is the age of the patient and what all are other complications and all. But still, like I please, high protein diet. Davangri has typed. Fine. And what is NCD? NCD is non-communicable diseases. ART center Chikodi. Okay. And what else? High protein diet. What else can be done? Even in HIV patients, we used to recommend. We recommend, not we used to. We recommend even now. We are recommending because protein loss will be more. High proteinaceous diet should be there. So what all are the food contain high protein diet? You all very know, like all the pulses. Like if you are a vegetarian, then it is different. If you are non-vegetarian, most of the meat and meat products, egg has more protein. So pulses and grams, there are proteins. Rajma has protein. So all these things can be given. High protein, low sugar diet. Okay, good, Nagapattinam. And so let's move on to the next slide. So this is the patient referral card which is used in the NPCDCS program. So based on the local customs, you can modify this. So in you have a ART referral form also. Even in that form, do you have ART from ART center referral forms to other departments? That has been provided to you, right? In the same form, you can refer. Only thing is, if you see any patient as per the program, if their random blood sugar is above 140 milligram per deciliter, and if their BP is more than 140 by 90 millimeter per mercury, you have to refer all these clients to the nearby NCD clinic for confirmatory diagnosis. This doesn't say that they are hypertensive or they are diabetic patients, right? But still, you okay, very good. Ratnagiri has told each patient, he has told the right answer. Each patient requires a tailor-made diet plan locally available considering presence of other comorbidities in addition to therapeutic correction of deficiencies. Very good, very nice answer. But please, I would like to explain this. So every patient, you have to counsel him properly, and then you have to come to a conclusion. See, you may recommend him to take meat daily if he is a non-vegetarian. But does he have money to buy that? You can recommend him Rajma or whatever. You can recommend him to buy some protein powder and have, but it is not recommended. But I am telling, for instance, but is it affordable by him? So you have to take into consideration whether he is affordable for buying this. Also, all these things has to be kept in mind. It is tailor made, and also very rightly said whether he is on some drugs or not, whether he is having some other comorbidities. If he is already a diabetic, then you cannot prescribe, give anything which contains easily having high glycemic value. That sugars like rice and all has to be limited, right? So everybody can be recommended. Like green leafy vegetables may be recommended, fruits may be recommended for all. So all these things, like it is tailor made depending upon the comorbidities of other clients. So this is the standard format of patient referral card used in the NPCDCS program. So you can modify according to, like, from the ART center, if his blood pressure is more than 140/90 and blood sugar is more than 140 milligram when you are doing it random, like you won't be doing, you will be referring them to the lab when you are doing the baseline workup. Please refer them to the NCD clinic in your institution if it is available, or to your medicine OPD. Screen them properly and have them worked up so that you can detect this hypertension and diabetes early and put them on treatment if they are diagnosed. So the key points I would like to mention: the rates of CVD is higher in HIV infected patient versus general population. Cardiovascular disease pathogenesis in HIV is a complex procedure we had seen, and while HIV factor may add to complexity, conventional risk factors are prominent. So what all are the conventional risk factors? You all know. Can anyone type some conventional risk factors? The risk can be monitored and modified. So if you are monitoring properly the risk factor, and the risk factor can be modified, like smoking habit can be modified, alcohol, proper diet intake, timely food. So all these things can, these all are the modifiable risks. And you, by doing proper counseling, you can modify the stress also. By when they have less stress, there are less chances having higher blood pressure. So all these things can be done in the ART center. And starting ART can mitigate CVD risk, even though certain drugs may increase. So if you are starting early, the risk reduces. Some drugs you all know, I have not touched upon the drug part, but it is like, if you are putting the patient very early on treatment, the risk of CVD is also reduces. And statins have been shown to be effective in reducing CVD cardiovascular risk. Patients without HIV infection, and should be used as indicated in HIV patients also. So you know that statins should be prescribed with caution when you are giving protease inhibitors. But most of the statins which is available in the states are like atorvastatin, and 10 milligram of atorvastatin is, which is the usual recommended dose, and it can be prescribed without any issues if it is indicated by the physician. And main thing, primary prevention is key. So instead of getting a patient diabetic or hypertensive and then treating him, you can educate them on every visit. Like when a patient comes to you, you have to you are already giving, but please keep in mind that NCD in mind, and also counsel. Like you are already doing counseling as part of the HIV infection, but also keep in mind this also has a high risk of morbidity and mortality in our HIV population. So educate them. These all are also high risk for the other things. Not only HIV or OI can cause death, but NCDs can cause death if they are already having HIV infection. This will augment the viral replication process and cause end organ damage through non-communicable diseases. So what all are the risk factors which can be modified has to be educated to your patients. By this you can prevent NCDs coming to the, you can prevent, and you sometimes like if already the patient is having, you can delay the disease progression, and you can increase the life longevity of your ART clients and pre-ART clients, those who are under your follow-up. Thank you. And if you have any questions, this should be, I wanted this session as there should be discussion now starting, like how you can contribute more, because as my little knowledge with HIV, and now I have been posted with the NPCDCS program, I would like to have the contribution of ART centers in preventing premature deaths in the HIV infected population. That is why, just an eye opener, I wanted to start this discussion regarding NCDs in the NCD screening and linkage in the ART center, how we can contribute. I think in the future there will be more experts coming with more options, and hope one day our Rajshekharan sir will be preparing a separate MO training module regarding NCDs, so that it will be more scientific and more informative for the people, those who are working in ERT center, because this is an upcoming issue and this issue is very much bigger. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And then I'm requesting all the participants to kindly enter a e-poll. It gets displayed in the screen. Once again, I'm requesting all the participants to kindly enter the e-poll. Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable session, and thank you for the participants, those who are attending actively.